What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Panthers Advice. Today's video is going to be interesting because we're going over free agents who could potentially still impact the team, right? Who could the Carolina Panthers still sign? I'm like, ooh, that's a big pickup. So first up right here, number 17 is Marcus Williams. We've all talked about him, Baltimore Raven or former Baltimore Raven, 28 years old. So not the oldest, right? 28, a few years left, right? Kind of in that prime area. Says injuries impacted his career. Missed at least 6 games in each of his past 3 seasons. On top of that, if you look at his production, it's completely fallen too. That's why he's still a free agent. I don't know how much of it has to do with injury, to be honest with you, because you look at Alexander from the Packers, who kind of been injured, the last few years, if I'm not mistaken. He got signed pretty quick. I think Marcus is more about production. Does he still want it? So with him, I got to say, I'd almost rather keep who we have, to be honest with you. Let's take a look at number 16 and 15 right here. Number 16 is going to be Von Miller. He's going to be 36 this year. The truth is, this one doesn't make sense to me because we have so many guys, right? Let me go a little bit bigger real quick. We have so many guys on the edge. We have to see if they can prove themselves or not. We're talking Barna. We're talking DJ. We're talking DJ Wanham, DJ Johnson. We're talking Scourton, right? Seeing how he can do his first year. Talking Princely too. There's a lot of guys on the outside where we have to see, can we build a future around them? So if you bring in a Von Miller who's, 36, it really doesn't make any sense. So the first two, kind of 0 for 2 right now. Second one is Will Hernandez, a guard. He's 30 years old. I actually think we're fine at the offensive line position right now. If we're going to bring in a free agent, I don't know that we need to go that route. Then we look right here. We got a linebacker and an edge. First up, we're going to look at Double O right here. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his name. All right, Double O from Cleveland. I expected more production from Double O when he signed with Cleveland in 2023 because of his short area closing speed and lower body flexibility when running the arc. However, Double O only had 7.5 sacks over the past 2 seasons with the Browns. Now, that says a lot, right? Because the Browns have who? Myles Garrett. So if you only have 7.5 sacks over 2 years with Myles Garrett playing, I would assume either next to you or opposite side. Ooh, boy, that does not look good on your stat sheet. I mean, 7.5 sacks alone in 2 years doesn't look great, right? But playing with Myles Garrett, not a good look. Let's look at Mr. White up at the top. It says White is an off-ball linebacker with run and hit traits and had 9 tackles for loss and 2.5 sacks last season. He has a pursuit speed to track the ball on the edges, and he has 6 interceptions along with 16 pass breakups in his career. White can be a 3-down player for his new team. All right, he's 29 years old. This one probably makes the most sense, all right, out of the last, 3 or 4 we've looked at so far. Off-ball linebacker. Panthers, I don't know what we have. We might have potential. We might have great players. We might not, right? I don't know what we have for sure. But as of right now, White makes the most sense. Let's take a look right here at 11 and 12 real quick. So right here we got 11 and 12, and I like Julian Blackmon a lot, but I know he was kind of injury prone, so I don't want to hype him up too much and then not give you guys a backstory. So I'm going to read right here. All right, Blackman's injury history. Let's take a look. There was the Achilles injury. All right, he missed a majority of 2021 with that. He also had a knee injury prior to his rookie season and ankle sprain in 2022. Season-ending shoulder surgery in 2023, and another shoulder injury with a torn labrum in 2024. Also a concern of a back injury in 2021 prior to the Achilles tear. Now, this is rough. This is rough because I can't sit here and say the Panthers should get him, and here's why. In 2023, I believe he finished top 5 and basically making stops against the run game as a safety, right? Not as a linebacker, but as a safety. So that tells me he's hitting. If he's already had 2 shoulder injuries, man, as fun as he is to watch and as good as a player I think he is, I think you're taking a risk. Now, the only upside you could potentially say is he's only 27 years old, or they're going to be 27. But I don't know, man. You'd have to get him for the low, and I think some teams are going to be desperate for a safety. They're going to go get Blackmon. I don't know if Panthers are going to be one of those teams. Next up is Justin Simmons right here. Simmons is interesting, and the reason I say he's interesting is because he played in Denver with Mr. Avira. When, that's when the Panthers really wanted Avira, was when he was in Denver doing his thing. So there's a chance I think they could get Simmons only to potentially teach Trayvon Mulrick and Damani Richardson kind of the ways. I think you sign, I don't know what, give them a 2-3 year team option on the second year or third year. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. I mean, I get it. Older veteran safety, not the best pick. But if you can have him teach Lathan Ransom and Damani Richardson kind of how Avira works, the system works, I mean, there's a lot to go into it. I don't hate it, right? It would have to be for the right price, but that could potentially make sense. Let's keep it going. Top 10 right here. Number 10 is Willis Jr., offensive tackle. It says right away, injuries have impacted Willis's development. Right there alone, man, it's risky right there. Number 9 is Matthew Judon right here. The thing with Judon is this. He's going to be 33 years old this year. If the Panthers actually had a front seven, this would make sense, but we don't. We have a lot of guys who are unproven, especially on the outside. Inside, we might have potential, right, with Derek Brown, Bobby Brown, Tershawn Wharton. But we got to see, kind of how they look. Now, here's the good news, right? And I know this is going to be kind of confusing when I say this, is if we can get our front seven right, next year we could potentially bring in a pass rusher like Judon and potentially like Clowney. And what I mean by like Clowney was, Clowney struggled with Carolina, right? He struggled. But the year before that, he killed it in Baltimore. Why? Because Baltimore's front seven was stacked. So if you can get somebody with Judon, right, or you can get somebody with Clowney's kind of attributes, right, his stats, right, it would be huge if your front seven's already stacked, right? Because I believe the Falcons had less sacks than the Panthers did, right? So Clowney's a free agent, no shocker there. Matthew Judon's a free agent, no shocker there. So if they're smart, they're going to go to a team with already a stacked front seven. Otherwise, right, let's keep it going. Let's look at number 7 and 8 real quick. Number 8, Jadeveon Clowney. Like I just got done saying, right? He killed it in Baltimore before he came to Carolina. But again, Baltimore had that front seven stack. Carolina, I mean, J.C. Horn was almost top 5 in sacks, right? I think he was number 7. It was never going to work. All right, next up is Zadarius Smith. Same thing, right? And he was with the Lions, so if he's not getting sacks with the Lions, not a good look, almost as bad as the Myles Garrett teammate. All right, number 6, number 5, Brandon right here at 33. I don't think we're going to go old on the offensive line. Keenan Allen, great receiver, right? Loved watching him play. One of the best route runners probably of this decade, but he's getting older. His injuries, man, it's not there. And I think we have a lot of guys kind of already like him, whether it's Hunter Renfrow, potentially make the team, right? Potentially. Coker is kind of similar to that as well. So I don't think either one of those guys are going to make it to the Panthers. Top 4 right here. Who do we got? We got Mike Hilton, DB. There's been a lot of talk about him, right? And not just kind of Panthers media, but just all around. Slot corner at 31. I'm mixed on it because I feel like we don't have depth at the DB position. But if I had to choose between Hilton and Asante Samuel over the top, I'm going to Asante Samuel. Now, with that being said, right, there's probably a big price difference, I would assume, between a 25-year-old cornerback and a 31-year-old cornerback. Between the two, I like Asante more. But if you get Mike kind of for the low, give or take, I wouldn't hate that either because I feel like we don't have depth right now. I mean, Bartholomew may pay off, right? Some guys may pay off behind them, but I don't know for sure. Let's look at our top 2 free agents left right here. Number 2 is Amari Cooper. Again, he's kind of slowed down since he's gotten older. He's now 31. I think we're getting to that Coker, that Renfrow, that Adam Thielen territory, to be honest with you. Before that, he would have been a great number 2. But at 31, again, I think we already have guys who kind of do what he does, to be honest. And the number 1 is Rasul Douglas right here. He's going to be 30. Now, again, I'm up for signing cornerbacks because I feel like we don't have depth, but it comes down to that pay, right? Because they're not going to start most likely, right? I don't think the Panthers are looking to sign anyone to start over Mike J, J.C. Horn, or Shaw Smith-Wade. With that being said, that's going to wrap it up. Panthers Advice is out. All right, less than a month away until the first preseason game. All right, take it easy. Panthers Advice is out. Peace.